Our today's topic is Drosera. Drosera is a very popular medicine in homeopathic mathematica, and Drosera is being used for a long time, from Hahnemann to recent times. Drosera is a carnivorous, rather insectivorous plant. Common name is sundew, which Hahnemann described in his Mathematica Pura, one of the most powerful medicinal herbs in our zone, that is in Hahnemann's zone. And once again he wrote, Drosera is, I believe, our only insectivorous plant. It seeds in the grounds of damp moist places, with its circle round leaves started with glandular hairs, which exude drops of viscid acrid juice and which close down and digest helpless insects that dare to settle on the plant. Just you see the video background, how the insect is being digested by a plant. In Mathematica Pura, it was incorporated and containing 132 symptoms from Hahnemann and 152 symptoms from fellow provers. In the year 1927, M.L. Tyler presented a paper on Drosera before the British Homeopathic Society. And he uttered, quote, a few years ago I came to the startling conclusion that only two people who really knew anything about Drosera were Samuel Hahnemann and myself. Myself means M.L. Tyler. Now regarding preparation, the tincture is prepared from the active fresh plant. If we go through the empirical use, it is being used empirically by physician in 16th century, by the older physician, mostly for external remedy, in cutaneous eruption, but not with the best effects. In homeopathic potency also, whenever Drosera is being proved, it has developed some skin symptom. So from that perspective, the skin symptom, what was considered as conventional use or empirical use, now is homeopathic. Thus, for example, a single dose is quite sufficient for the homeopathic cure of epidemic whooping cough. Cough, according to the indication given by symptom number 135, 37, 144, 149, especially 145 and second part of the 143. This is the numerical arrangement in Mathematica Pura, from where we are getting the typical symptom of whooping cough were developed during proving. And these medicine become famous as a remedy in whooping cough at Hahnemann's own recommendation, based on observation from one of his provers. Then if we consider adaptability, Drosera is predominantly a cough remedy and especially famous for its effects on whooping cough. Though nowadays whooping cough is not so prevalent, but Drosera is a very good medicine for obstinate bad coughs. However, we can use this medicine in any respiratory ailments and violent, deep, barking sounding coughs with hoarseness, resulting irritation from larynx. One should certainly think of Drosera for maltreated obstinate fistula of tubercular origin, spinal degeneration, asthma, with past or family history of tuberculosis. That is very important. In any pathological state, it may be fistula, it may be tubercular origin and spinal degeneration, even asthma, with past or family history of tuberculosis. Then sphere of action. First and foremost, the respiratory system, larynx, trachea and lungs, and apart from that, bone, joints and glands. Hahnemann gives big black type not only to the laryngeal symptom that have made Drosera famous among homeopaths. But he gives the same black type of joints to shoulder, to hip, again and again, even to ankle, besides to the shafts of the long bones and pain in the limbs. So, if we consider sphere of action, mostly on larynx, trachea and lungs, bones, joints and glands, along with upper limbs, lower limbs, back, all those parts. Then if we consider once again the proving records. Proving records on mind. It was written in book. Sandew had also a reputation for the cure of madness. And in the homeopathic proving we find restlessness, suspiciousness and delusion of persecution. It is in black type. So in empirical use we are getting, if we consider history, Sandew had a good reputation for the cure of madness. Whenever this medicine was proved during Hahnemann's time, the prover developed restlessness, suspiciousness and delusion of persecution, and inclination to suicide, especially by drowning. And it was conventionally used in coughs also, disease of the lungs, and here again it is purely homeopathic. Now the peculiar mind and disposition of Drosera patient, from empirical source and from proving whatever got by Hahnemann and later on other stalwarts, and repeatedly is being clinically verified for last 200 years. Mental restlessness. Patient is so restless when reading cannot dwell long on one subject, must change to one idea to another. The changeability, actually it is a very prominent symptom of tubercular diathesis. As Drosera is a medicine for tubercular diathesis, in mental level we are getting changeability in mental plane. Then another mental disposition, mind and disposition is depressed by persecution of others on all sides, and also discouraged and concerned about future. Anxiety with flashes of heat, especially when alone, at evening, also when awaking at night, as if it would impel him to commit suicide by drowning. So, in solitary place, whenever the patient is alone, the suicidal impulse haunted, especially by drowning. Then another part of mind, we are getting dread of ghost, anxiety, there is also, especially in solitude. Morbid fear of ghost. Another important symptom for mind is great mistrust. Do not trust anybody. Mental dejection caused by idea of imaginary enmity. Always he is feeling all people around me is my enemy. The very irritable, a trifle will disturb, getting besides oneself with anger. From slightest cause become very angry, self-willed, obstinate, insist upon carrying out his plans to other people. He is so obstinate and self-willed, always insisting other people to carry out his plans. They are very peevish, and a trifle puts him out of humor. Sandew had also reputation for the cure of madness, already I have told regarding proving part, and in Materia Medica we are getting restlessness and all those symptoms. Anxiety especially about 7 to 8 p.m. at evening, as if he are impelled to jump out into the water to take his own life by drowning. He was not impelled to any other mode of death, and it was recorded by provers. Now I am going to particular symptom. Vertigo when walking in open air with inclination to fall to the left side. When walking in open air, tendency to vertigo and inclination to fall to the left side. Coldness of left half of the face with stinging pain and dry heat on the right half. Now I am telling the symptom of back and extremities. Paralytic pain in coxofemoral joint and thighs. Stiffness in joints of feet, all limbs feel lame. The characteristic feature of Drosera is, especially in limbs, lameness and numbness. Pain with lameness and numbness. Bed feels too hard. Soreness of all the limbs on which he lies as if bed are too hard, like arnica, like pyrogen. And inflexibility of ankle joints. They are very stiff, as if it were dislocated, and especially when walking. The case that opened my eyes, it is written by M.L. Tyler. The case that opened my eyes accidentally to the value of Drosera in spinal caries was one that was sent to me by one of the surgeons. A pain compounded of gnawing and shooting in the shafts of the bones of the arms, thighs and legs, particularly severe in joints, with severe itching and numbness. Neck stiff, painful on motion, painful on touch also, painful between scapulae drawing to small of back, lying in bed during expiration, sudden contraction feel in abdomen. The very peculiar characteristic symptom. I got one patient, for a long time he was suffering from pain in back, especially in vertebral column. One characteristic feature was there, particular symptom. Whenever he lying in bed and during expiration, he is feeling sudden contraction on abdomen. Everything is contracted in the abdomen. Along with, he was having family history of tuberculosis. And considering that, we prescribed Drosera. Drosera in joints, occasional cases of rheumatoid arthritis, clear up to an astonishing extent on Drosera. Then he put an example. One remembers an old lady of 76. She had been coming up some years before, unable to close her hands, wrist and knuckles, especially affected, and ankles and feet also affected, with swelling and deformity. She had an extremely bad tuberculosis patient and also having family history of tuberculosis. And getting Drosera, she was beautifully improved. Next, gland. In Drosera, gland cases one notices not only in the diminution of size of the gland, but the old scars fade away, get free and come to the surface. Discoloration goes, and that when a gland does break down under Drosera, it behaves a very restrained manner with a small opening, little discharge, and that it leaves particularly nothing to mark what has taken place. So Drosera is a very good medicine. Whenever we are prescribing Drosera, if any small opening is there, like fistula, but it will be dried up during treatment in long run. Cases of goiter also, and even exophthalmic goiter, have greatly benefited or been cured with Drosera cases. Once again, it will be good if we get tubercular family history. Protrusion of eyes, if we consult repertory, in protrusion of eyes in rubrics we will get Drosera in second grade in Kent's repertory. So from that perspective also, Drosera is supported for exophthalmic goiter. In the introductory part of this lecture, already I have told, in empirical use, Drosera especially was used for skin trouble, for external application, eruption on skin, but whenever it was proved, we are also getting violent itching while undressing, especially while undressing, violent itching while undressing. When scratching, skin readily peels off, and black pores, especially on chest and shoulder. Now we are coming the special pathogenesis of Drosera on respiratory system. In respiratory system, Drosera has a very good reputation in our daily practice. For long and years, Drosera shows its efficacy. A sensation as if cramps are in the throat, fever in larynx, sensation as if fever in larynx, cough with violent paroxysm, and which follow each other rapidly. Cough, paroxysmal cough, it is so violent, one follows each other. It is scarcely able to get breath. Wakes about at 6 to 7 a.m. and does not cease coughing until a large quantity of tenacious mucus is raised and generally ends with vomiting. Deep sounding hoarse barking cough. Deep sounding hoarse and barking cough. Aggravation after midnight. It may be during and after measles. Spasmodic with gagging and retching and vomiting. Hughes quotes as saying that the power of Drosera in spasmodic cough is one of the best illustration we have of the efficacy of potentized dose. The definition of its sphere of action being cough from tickling in larynx with vomiting of food. In short, if we narrate, cough from tickling in larynx with vomiting of food. And he quoted about 107 cases, of which 101 were cured and relieved with Drosera. Frequent spells of barking cough, worse mostly at evening and after midnight, and patient holds his side, vomits if he cannot get up. Fame, every effort to raise a little fame ends in a retching, vomiting, and there may be bloody expectoration also. Harassing and titillating cough in children, not at all through the day, but commences as soon as the head touches the pillow at night, like belladonna, like hyoscyamus. Throughout the day, otherwise the children is okay. Constant titillating cough in children, beginning as soon as touches the pillow. Nocturnal cough of young person, especially in phthisis or tuberculosis, bloody purulent sputa. Cough aggravation by warmth, drinking, singing, laughing, weeping. So cough of Drosera, especially in young person, aggravation from warmth, from drinking, from singing, laughing, weeping, lying down and after midnight. During cough, vomiting of water, mucus, food, whatever in his stomach. And ultimately it may be concluded with bleeding from nose and mouth, and always with a sensation of feather in the larynx. It excites cough. Clergyman showed throat is another important symptom. Clergymen, those who are professional speaker, with rough scraping, dry sensation, deep in fauces, voice hoarse, deep, toneless, cracked, and requires exertion to speak. Those who are professional speaker, patient of Drosera, at the same time they are suffering from hoarseness of voice, cracked voice, and require exertion to speak. And constriction and crawling in larynx, hoarseness, yellow or green sputa, laryngeal tuberculosis following whooping cough. Laryngeal tuberculosis following whooping cough is a very good medicine is Drosera. Vomiting of food from coughing already I have told. Another important point, asthma when talking with contraction of the throat at every word uttered. Otherwise, he or she is doing well, but whenever talking for a few minutes or a few times, asthma started with cough. In that case also you may think for Drosera. Honeyman's whooping cough symptom, whatever we have got in Mathematica Pura. First, cough coming from quite deep down in the chest. Second, cough, the impulse of which follow one another so violently that he can hardly get his breath. Crawling in the larynx which provokes coughing. Cough ending in vomiting. 4 point, cough coming from deep down from the chest. Cough with impulse of which follow one another violently. Crawling in the larynx and ends with vomiting. Now we are telling about modalities. Worse after midnight, aggravation on lying down, on getting warm in bed, drinking, singing, laughing, etc., especially for cough. But regarding pain in limbs and backs, pain in limbs is less while moving than in rest. Feeling better in motion. When at rest, shivering. When moving, no shivering. If we consider relationship complementary to Nux vomica, follows well, Sambucus, sulfur, and followed by calcarea carb, pulsatilla, sulfur, and we may compare with Sina, Corellium rubrum, Ipecac, Cupram met, Sambucus in spasmodic cough, and often relieves the constant distressing night cough in tuberculosis. Hahnemann said in his Mathematica Pura, one single dose of 30th potency is sufficient to cure entirely the epidemic cough. The cure takes place surely between 7 and 8 days. Never give a second dose immediately after the fast. Never give a second dose immediately after the fast. It would not only prevent the good effect of the former, but would be injurious. So, for Drosera, Hahnemann's instruction about posology is very important. Absolute single dose. The medicine is antidoted by camphor. Hahnemann says camphor is a very good antidote for Drosera. It alleviates and antidotes its effect. But the camphor was discarded with the then indicated remedy. After antidoting the effect, the complaint continues. In that respect, if any patient getting trouble after Drosera, if we prescribe Carbovec, the child was practically well in a week. A good number of patients of tubercular origin who after months of steady treatment with other remedies, with varying periods of amelioration relapse, on getting Drosera come back no more or only after periods of months to years of good health. Now I am quoting from Taylor's Mathematica, what he said, quote, now please do not imagine that I want to suggest that Drosera will cure all cases of sinus, gland or bone disease of tuberculous nature or in person of tubercular chemistry. It will not. But it will revolutionize quite a number of such cases. And where it acts, as I said, it acts with extraordinary rapidity, and the change in appearance in general health and in spirits of patients is remarkable, unquote. Now I am telling comparison. This remedy is to be compared with Ipecac and Cupram from a trio of remedies for spasmodic cough, and similar to whooping cough, which is very valuable, and we might add Sina to make a quality. Drosera and Cupram are equally spasmodic. Ipecac has more mucus, asthmatic wheezing. Sina so-called warm symptoms. I do not find great difficulty choosing between them. And another medicine we may think in comparison with Drosera is the minute gun cough only during the day and night. The medicine is Corellium rubrum, both for day and night. For Drosera, almost there is no cough during day, it aggravates during night. In case of Ipecac, spasmodic cough, but cough associated with much nausea, less vomiting. In case of Drosera, spasmodic cough, one after one spell and ends with vomiting, foods and other matters. In case of Cupram, that is also spasmodic cough, violent spasmodic cough with sudden anoxia and brain and fainting tendency and for the expectoration from the mouth. Once again, I am telling the posology of Drosera from Taylor. I may say that I have been in the habit of curing whooping cough with single dose of Drosera 30 or 200, and I saw a good deal of whooping cough during 1914 to 1918 in our children's outpatients department. But we all try to improve on Hahnemann with consequent loss of power. Hahnemann stated that a single dose of the 30th potency is quite sufficient for the cure of epidemic whooping cough. The cure takes place, he says, with certainty in from 7 to 8 days under a non-medical diet. Care should be taken not to give a second dose or any other medicine immediately after the first dose. forward would not only prevent the good result, but the serious injury may take place. Now we do conclude regarding Drosera. Remember that homeopathy knows no specific and treats no name of disease per se. But if you think that Drosera will cure every case of whooping cough that comes along, you will discover sooner or later that it is not so. In one epidemic, it is recorded, in whooping cough, Calicough was the remedy. Once found, cured every case. Drosera, as Hahnemann says, it needs reproving. It will never repetize out on general symptom. It is one of the drugs for which you have to go to Mathematica to see that it fits. To get proper knowledge of Drosera, you must go through Hahnemann's Mathematica Pura and Emil Taylor writings. Otherwise, you will get information from Allen's Keynote, from Borwick's Mathematica and from Kent. But to get a complete picture and different type of pathogenesis what Drosera have, you must go through Emil Taylor and Hahnemann's writings. Thank all of you.